It was once said by John D. Rockefeller that the ability to make money is the most stable thing in the world, and that when it is structured properly, it is unshakable. Imagine you had the ability to earn any amount of money you desired. John D. Rockefeller is the first dollar billionaire in the world. It is said that Rockefeller invested $2,000 into his first company. Of these $1,200, he borrowed from his father. At the time of his death in 1937, Rockefeller's fortune was estimated to be $1.4 billion, which in today's terms is equivalent to $318 billion. In comparison, Elon Musk, who is thought to be the richest person in the world, only has an estimated wealth of $219 billion. These are the financial abilities that have contributed to his success. The idea of wealth. There are financial truths that have long gone gold and are guaranteed to make a lot of people wealthy. That is exactly what John Rockefeller's financial abilities are all about. Most of you may be put off by their ease of use and accessibility. Those who find their inner strength and manage it properly, on the other hand, will achieve their personal financial goals in no time. Meet your obligations. Rockefeller was always cautious about meeting his obligations, including financial ones. He had a lot of challenges in his first year of business, no matter how difficult it was. He always found the correct amount by the correct date. Rockefeller recalls in his memoir, How I Made $500 Million, how his father came to his office at the most inconvenient time for another loan payment and insisted that he needed the money right away. Rockefeller himself is unsure whether the dates were chosen at random or by his father on purpose for educational purposes. In any case, each creditor, including his own father, received how much and when they were supposed to. Bankers would eventually believe Rockefeller, getting the contents of their safes out for him. His financial reputation was the best guarantee. As a result, you should keep a close eye on your credit history and financial reputation. Keeping track of your money. At age 7, Rockefeller earned his first money on a neighbor's farm where he helped collect potatoes and raise rabbits. Following his mother's advice, he made his first entry in the ledger, where he listed everything to the penny, to keep tabs on the business's finances up until his death. He used tools like today's cash flow statement, which detail the inflow and outflow of cash. Although it was frequently stated in Rockefeller biographies, his family was poor during his childhood. However, no records of his father's income have ever been located. What we do know is that the future billionaire's father was a salesman who did a lot of traveling. Additionally, he did a great deal of touring all over the nation. Rockefeller's mother had to save money while the family's head was away. For this reason, she learned to carefully budget her family's money and pass this habit on to her offspring. John knew from an early age that a good record of financial transactions would lead to increased wealth. They encouraged him to study at a university, but Rockefeller instead attended a commercial college and majored in accounting. Later, after finishing his education, he found work as an assistant accountant, where his superiors were quickly realized how much he enjoyed working with numbers. Rockefeller's eyes would light up whenever he was assigned work that involved tinkering with finished periods or projects, even though none of his other co-workers shared this interest. Beginning in the second month, Rockefeller's monthly salary was $17. It had already cost $25. A year later, he was promoted to manager with an annual salary of $800. It is essential to emphasize John's dedication to financial literacy, as it was his financial knowledge that served as the basis for his future wealth. Don't be afraid to borrow. Entrepreneurs see borrowed money as a necessary evil. Rockefeller's example demonstrates that they do not have to. If Rockefeller had not borrowed the money from his father to start his own business, he would most likely have worked for the rest of his life. Even when he had sufficient funds of his own, Rockefeller preferred to sell shares to the next investor. He also invested his own funds but kept a portion of it in reserve. And even if there were no investors, he would finance the next project entirely on his own. The Rockefeller's first venture was a small logistics firm. In his first year of business, Rockefeller received orders totaling $500,000 in value. Money to support them soon became scarce, as he was already indebted to his father for a great deal of money, which he gave annually at a rate of 10%. Rockefeller obtained the missing funds through whatever means he could. It wasn't easy, but he succeeded. It is believed that only financially ignorant individuals do not fear loans. The distinction between them and Rockefeller is that Rockefeller borrowed wisely. Each decision has a cost. In order to borrow money without worrying about not paying it back, Rockefeller always planned ahead and carefully considered the consequences of his actions. He carefully calculated how much interest he would accrue, how long it would take him to repay the loan, and how much money he could make with the money he borrowed. If he invested his own funds, he analyzed the outcome, if and when he would multiply it by a certain number. Rockefeller put a lot of money into his businesses. Rockefeller did not skip if the investment resulted in an increase in production or a decrease in expenses that translated into a profit increase. In the United States, Rockefeller was the pioneer who switched from transporting oil in wooden barrels on horseback to transporting oil in tanks on rail cars driven by entire trains. When he assessed the damage caused by constant fires in the first American, refineries were literally sheds. He stopped saving on refinery safety. Oil is a lucrative industry, but it will soon be depleted. To put it in another way, they did not think it was worthwhile to put money into the infrastructure. When Rockefeller first started shipping oil overseas, he needed efficient means of moving the oil from the storage tanks to tankers. Rockefeller provided a necessary railway station at his own expense. To all intents and purposes, he gave them away to the railroad for nothing. In addition to the volume of transportation, this became an argument for tariff reduction and enabled Rockefeller to transport oil by rail for 3 times less than competitors. Rockefeller also owns a number of iron ore mines. When he realized that transporting or to blast furnaces in ports by ship was more profitable than by train, he built his own fleet from the ground up. Rockefeller's partners thought his innovations were too risky and refused to invest in them. In such cases, he said, "Okay, I'll invest the money on my own, but all profits will be mine as well." Following that, the partners quickly became accommodating. Everyone knew there would be a profit because Rockefeller was willing to invest alone. Thank you for watching another video in our series designed to help you succeed in your financial endeavors. Please remember to subscribe to our channel and give the video a thumbs up.